All right, thank you everyone for showing up for today's presentation on going to Azure SQL with Dennis Torres. Today is April 20th, 2021, and this is, as always, the DBA Fundamentals Virtual Group. As you see in the top right-hand corner of the screen, we have all of the co-organizers of the DBA Fundamentals Group. There is Steve Cantrell in his Twitter address, if you ever need to get in contact with him, Shane O'Neill, and myself, Kevin Wilkie. And as always, you can always reach us on Twitter if you have any questions, comments, whatnot. Going down the right-hand side of the screen, you should be able to see the various different ways to get in contact with us. First up being our meetup group, which is how most of you should have found us. Our website, dbafund.org, where you can find our upcoming presentations and in all of our previous presentations. We also have DBA FunTube, which is our YouTube channel. If you like to know when our latest and greatest presentations are placed out there, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also reach us on Twitter at DBAFun, and you can reach out to us on Slack as well. We have a channel on there. Excuse me. You can also reach out to us on LinkedIn, where we have a group that we try to put as much stuff out there as possible for all of our wonderful fundamental needs. As always, our presentation will be available. It's going to be recorded and available within 1 to 2 days. So make sure to check it out on the YouTube channel. And with that, we go to Dennis, who, as you see on the screen, has a wonderful bio that I'm sure you've read many times and are familiar with. And with that, I hand it over to Dennis.
Thank you very much, Kevin. So, today I'll be talking about going to Azure SQL, admin difference no one told you before. I will focus on what are different between administering a server on-premise and administering an Azure SQL Server. And the benefits we get from this difference and so on. So, this is me. I'm a database and BI administrator, trainer. So have some Microsoft certifications, and I'm the leader of Malta Data Platform User Group. I live in Malta. It's a small Italy. I'm the leader of the user group. We have a Facebook group, meetup, and so on. And on the right side, you can see my contacts. Feel free to get in touch, ask anything you would like, and so on. It will be a pleasure to connect. This Saturday, we are organizing the first Malta Data Saturday. It will be this Saturday, and it will run from Saturday to Sunday in multiple time zones, so you can attend this conference on your time zone. It will be a very interesting conference, and the set of speakers are very interesting. So, this is what we'll talk today. As you can see, our agenda today is quite extensive. So, instead of explaining one by one, let's go directly for our first subject, SQL Administrator. What I mean about SQL Administrator? When we create an Azure SQL, when we provision an Azure SQL, it asks us for a name and a password. That name and password will be the administrator of our Azure SQL. Cool. It's simple, right? It's simple. If you want to keep using sorry, there is some. Okay, so let's continue. So it as I was saying, it's simple. If you want to continue using SQL authentication, but we are on a server on Azure, why can't we use Active Directory authentication? Or not even Active Directory, on-premise Active Directory. Why can't we use Azure Active Directory authentication? We can. And in fact, it is very simple for us to use that. Uh, the point is, it's essential for integrated security that after provisioning this Azure SQL, we set a SQL administrator for the server, not that user that we define when we are provisioning the Azure SQL, but we need to choose an Azure Active Directory user and define that user as an administrator for our SQL Server. And this will allow us to make the connection using integrated security. This is the screen that we have when we are managing the server, and we need to use that button, set admin. So we set admin and we choose one user from the Azure Active Directory, and this user will be the administrator of our Azure SQL. This is absolutely needed for us to use integrated security. So from this point, once we set the admin as a user from Azure Active Directory, we can give permissions to any user from Azure Active Directory and use integrated security. So this will make our Azure SQL safer. After setting the administrator, we can connect using Active Directory Universal with MFA support and just use our email address, the email address that is recognized by Azure, and we'll be able to connect. Let's see this working. Let's see how this works. So I already have a SQL database called ADVWorks provisioned. I can connect to it now. At this moment, I'll be connecting to it using SQL authentication. So I'll define the database and we'll use SQL Server authentication. At this moment, I'm using the login I defined when I was provisioning the database. Then I can connect. And on this server, I created the simple database. When we provision an Azure SQL, we have the option to choose to provision a simple database. It's the AdventureWorks Little. So it's using the name AdventureWorks is in fact the AdventureWorks Little inside this server. Here the tables. Okay, so let's get back to the portal. The change that I'm talking about is made on the server level. At this moment, I'm on the database level, so I need to go back to the server. Server level here, server. And here I define the Active Directory admin for my Azure SQL. Simple like that. Let's open another window with the portal and take a look on our Azure Active Directory. The Azure Active Directory is here. It's how it's present, even if you have a free account. it will always be here, even if you haven't made too many special configurations about it. It will be here. And you can choose a user of your Active Directory to be the administrator of the Azure SQL. Seems interesting, it seems cool, but we can do better. We can do better. We are SQL admins. We know better than that. So we can, instead of choosing a user, we can choose a group. I can define on Azure Active Directory a group SQL admins and include in this group the users who will have permission to administer the Azure SQL. So instead of setting uh, the permission for one specific user, I can set a group as the admin of our Azure SQL. So if that user that I set here leaves the company or change to another role inside the company or anything like that, I will not have a problem. I will have a group as an admin of the Azure SQL instead of a user. And then I save. That's it. So this group that I have on my Active Directory SQL admin is already set as the admin of my Azure SQL. From this point and onward, I can give permissions to any Active Directory user, uh, as I would give permissions for any other user. There is a special syntax called external provider that makes the link between a SQL user and the Azure Active Directory user. But that's the easy part. The main point is that we need to set the administrator. So at this point, I can disconnect from here. Let's connect. And let's connect again, but this time I will connect using Azure Active Directory with MFA. I use one of my accounts that I know that is inside that administrator group, and it delegates the request of password to Microsoft. Microsoft needs to authenticate me, and that's it. So I'm using integrated security with my Azure SQL uh, being authenticated by the Azure Active Directory. And I have access to the database. Simple like that. Okay, this was our first challenge. Let's move forward. Auditing and monitoring. How can we audit and monitor our Azure SQL in the cloud? We don't even have access to the server. Uh, Mind that I'm not talking about virtual machines or even managed instance. I'm talking about the most complex situation that would be the Azure SQL database. But what I'm talking here can be used for virtual machines and can be used for managed instance as well. So, how do we audit and monitor our Azure SQL database? We use log analytics. Log Analytics is an essential service in Azure. I consider Log Analytics something very essential when you are migrating to the cloud. There is a set of services that are very essential when you are making your migration to the cloud. And Log Analytics is one of them. In fact, Log Analytics is part of Azure Monitor. It's included in Azure Monitor. So it's part of Azure Monitor. Log Analytics uses one language called Custo. Yes, that's exactly this that I'm telling you. I'm telling you that as a cloud DBA, you need to learn a new SQL language. You will not be only tied to SQL. Now you need to use Custo as well. You have a new language to learn. And Log Analytics use dashboards and workbooks to show us the information about the monitoring, auditing, and monitoring of our Azure SQL database. So, what's the point? I'm showing this for Azure SQL. However, this is spread on every Azure services. That's why log analytics is a so fundamental service when you are going to the cloud. Why? Because on any Azure service, you can just turn on a diagnostic setting, an audit setting, and your setting will be sent to Log Analytics. In this screen, you are seeing the option about auditing, about turning on SQL auditing, and the auditing will be sent to Log Analytics. Oh, there are other options. You could send the auditing to storage. You could send the audit to Event Hub. Well, let me say like this. Uh, I would be curious and interested in know what scenario would make you send your content to storage or Event Hub and not send it to Log Analytics. I would be curious to know about these scenarios. So I'm talking about auditing, and this works as diagnostic settings as well. This screen is more common because it's a very common screen on every service. The difference from service to service is what the service will be sending to Log Analytics. Take a look on the list of what SQL Server sends to Log Analytics. We are talking about weight stats, query store information, automatic return information, SQL insights, deadlocks, a lot of information. We have a lot of information that SQL Server will be sending to Log Analytics, and then we can use Log Analytics to monitor our environment. This is what is called a Log Analytics workspace. Log Analytics workspace. Uh, this guy is receiving all the information from SQL Server, and it is storing this information inside Log Analytics. It's an internal storage of Log Analytics. And as you can notice, we have a query area. We can make queries over the information stored, and we don't use SQL for these queries. We use Custo. It may appear mm, a bit similar to SQL, but it's not. It's Custo. So yes, we cloud DBAs, we have a new language to learn, Custo language. About SQL and log analytics, there is one interesting detail. Some Azure services, when they send data to log analytics, they send data creating new tables in log analytics. So below this part that you are seeing, log management, you could see many new tables according to the data that has been sent by the service. While other services, when they send data to log analytics, they insert all the data inside the table called Azure Diagnostics. So everything is inserted inside Azure Diagnostics. And we need to query the information and retrieve only the information that we need. Uh, yeah, there is a question on the chat. Are the log metrics captured the same for managed instance? You have additional options for managed instance, but yes, there is the possibility. I consider log analytics as an advantage because it can centralize the information of from all your SQL servers, and not only SQL servers, even other services that you have on Azure. Every service that you have on Azure can be sending data to log analytics. And then the rest is about your architecture and your design and how you will plan about this. Because here we have one log analytics workspace. You can decide what services will send data to this single workspace and what other services will send data to different workspace. You can decide that. And monitoring. We need to use Custo to access the data, and we can create and customize workbooks. So uh, we don't need to use Custo all the time. Using Custo, we can create dashboards. To say that is something similar to Power BI is too much. It's not Power BI, but it's something like that. We can create dashboards using Custo, using the queries that you build in Custo, and then every time that we need the information, we have the information uh, for us in a visual way. Yeah, there are spoilers great that people are sending spoilers on the chat. You can use also SQL Analytics. I will get there. You can use SQL Analytics solution. It was exactly the next item. What SQL Analytics solution? SQL Analytics solution is nothing more than a custom set of workbooks already customized to read the data and display the data in a specific format. We can choose to use SQL Analytics because it's ready for us. It's there and it's ready. But if we don't like SQL Analytics, oh, it's missing this, it's missing that, it's not in the way that they would like to see the information, build your own. You can use custom to build your own visualization solution. The environment is flexible. And what's very interesting, this is absolutely great to create a baseline for the servers. Sometimes creating a baseline for the server, what's the baseline for our server? How our server usually behave in relation to processor, memory, IOs, and so on. How is the behavior of our server? Many people don't know the answer for this question. And the point is that using log analytics, the answer to this question is just one query away from you. you can make a query over the set of data that is inside Log Analytics and discover the baseline of your server, and then identify if in a specific day your server is working according the usual way, according the baselines or not. The baselines will be one query away from you. So this way to work with log analytics, centralizing the information in log analytics, is absolutely great to generate a baseline for the server. So this move to Azure SQL and this move to a new way of monitoring using log analytics uh, is a great evolution, because the data that we always said we need to have and we never had time to get, now it will be one query away from us. And it also, and if it was not enough, it also works with virtual machines and on-premise servers. So the first option, you selected the storage instead of log analytics that they are asking here on the question. Then how do we query from storage? Well, I would mostly say that it is up to you. If you choose storage, the data will be there. How will you query those data? It will be mostly up to you. However, uh, nowadays we have Synapse, and we are on the year of data lakes. So Synapse is totally able to connect to a storage folder and read files in specific formats. You define the format, V file, a Parquet file, or even XML file, you can read using Synapse. So there are options. But from the point that you choose, oh, now you put the data on the storage, then that's your choice. What you do about the data, how you will visualize this data, is up to you. It will be your work. So, what we need to do in relation to this? Here I'm showing already how to create the Azure SQL Analytics, but we need to create a log analytics workspace first. After we have the log analytics workspace, we create the Azure SQL Analytics. Azure SQL Analytics preview. Uh, and remembering, log analytics is the core tool, the log analytics workspace. Azure SQL Analytics is basically a set of uh, of dashboards already pre-built for us. And if we would like to build something different, we can. We can. We are not tied to it. And this solution, the Azure SQL Analytics, when we provision it from the marketplace, we need to select the Log Analytics workspace. So this solution will be an option that we will see on Azure, and it will be tied with one workspace. And this is the UI of the SQL Analytics. The dashboard that SQL Analytics brings to us, showing how our Azure SQL is working. I can some of the screens showing weight stats and many metrics of the database. All this is part of SQL Analytics. And consolation prize. what I mean about consolation prize. The consolation prize is that Log Analytics has agents for on-premise. What this means? This means that you don't need to be in the cloud to use Log Analytics and do all this great stuff that I'm telling you. You can start now with your on-premise machine. Start now. Go to the Azure, create a Log Analytics workspace, download the agent and install in your server. Just that. And Log Analytics will be able to capture the information for your on-premise SQL Server. But why I'm calling this consolation prize? Because the set of information that is captured by this agent is not even close the set of information that Log Analytics can capture from a SQL in the cloud. Basically, the agent will capture performance counters. You will be able to monitor your server in details using the performance counter. But basically, it will capture the performance counters. There is a possibility for the future. That is the Arc-enabled SQL Server. This guy, the Arc-enabled SQL Server, when you have a SQL Server on-premise and you attach the SQL Server on-premise to Azure to have some Azure services for your on-premise environment, this guy is promising that you give more trust. But I confess I got disappointed when I discovered that uh, logs and capture of information for logs is not included yet. Not yet. It may be soon, but not yet. But when we go to the log analytics, we can download this agent and we just configure the agent. We can define what performance counters we would like to capture. Mind that it works as well in Linux machines. It can capture IIS logs, so we are not talking only about SQL Server. I could install this in a web server and get statistics about web access for applications. So the usage of this is very broad. Uh, I'm showing the price in tires, but the important point here is not price in tires. The important point is that on the screen that shows the price in tires, there is at the top the data retention. We configure the data retention, which is by default 30 days. If you are building a serious monitoring environment, probably 30 days is not enough. Probably you want to have a better history of how your server is behaving. It can go up to 730 days. It's which 2 years, more or less 2 years. If I'm calculating correctly, more or less 2 years. There is also a daily cap. If we have any problems with the amount of data that is being captured, we can create a daily cap, the maximum amount of logs that will be captured every day. So you are seeing it's very broad, but there are some limitations on this service. There are some limitations on this service. And if you would like to go beyond that, then the next stage is the Azure Data Explorer. I'm not an expert about the Azure Data Explorer. I can't tell much about the Azure Data Explorer. But if everything that Log Analytics has to offer uh, is not enough for you, then we can go to Azure Data Explorer. Let's say that it's the big brother of Log Analytics. In fact, on Saturday, there will be a section about the Azure Data Explorer on Saturday conference. But I talked too much, and I haven't shown anything. Let's start demonstrations now. Let's see how this works. Let's see this working. So, let's go to the portal. I'll use the same resource group. I already have some other objects in this resource group that I use later for other demonstrations. But now what I want on this resource group is a log analytics workspace. I'm creating a log analytics workspace inside this resource group. Create. It's asking about description, resource group, general log, location. I choose a location that I would like. I'm user to North Europe. I can choose pricing entire page as you go, next tags, and then created. That's it. So we have our log analytics created, our log analytics workspace created. And they ask you to send the link on the chat for the conference on Saturday. There it is. Okay, so the log analytics workspace is being created. Let's wait just a moment. There it is. So it is. I can see the workspace. But we don't start here. We start on the objects that we would like to monitor. And in our case are the database and the server. So let's start on the database level and see what I'll capture from this database. I have auditing. I can enable auditing and send the auditing for a log analytics. It will ask on what subscription and what workspace I would like to store my audit information. The log analytics I just created, the workspace I just created. Save. Saving the auditing settings. Okay. Fine. Then I also have we have the auditing is one setting in our database, but inside the database we also have the diagnostic settings. Is a different setting. And here on the diagnostic setting, you can also when I configure the auditing, when I made the configuration of the auditing, it created an object here inside the diagnostic settings because this object is defining, oh, the audit information is going to the log analytics. I could create other objects. I can send parts of the information to different places if I would like so. If I would like, I could. It's all a matter of the architecture you should implement. But in my case, I'll just edit this setting. I can edit the same auditing settings and just include all the other options that we have to be sent to log analytics. So I'm including all the other options. The server has the diagnostic options as well, but for tasks related on server level, it would. So on the server, we also have auditing. Auditing, I'm sorry, I said it would not apply to our database. Auditing is an exception, it's a special configuration for SQL. I can enable on server level and then it would be applied to the database. The auditing is special in this case. But all the rest is database level. Okay, done. So my SQL Server is sending information to the log analytics. So I can go to the log analytics and check the information. However, I don't have information there to check. Let's create something to check. How do we create something to check? We thank you Adam Mechanic for creating SQL Query Stress that is even in Microsoft Store. So we can use SQL Query Stress to send lots and lots of queries to our SQL Server. Let's fix the database connection because I had dropped the database created again and it's a bit confused. Oh, I created the new server has the DBA fun. The other was DBA fun SQL. Let me test again. Now connection successful. Okay. Now I'll send lots and lots of queries to our Azure SQL. But I will not lose time on this because it will take time. It will take about 2 minutes to complete. So while it's completing, let's add the other solution that we talked about. So analysis, psychoanalytics, Azure psychoanalytics in preview. This is the set of dashboards pre-built that we can use to analyze the information from our Azure SQL. So we create this guy and it immediately asks, where is the log analytics workspace where you are saving the information? So I need to give him the log analytics workspace. My information is being saved on the general log and create. It's making the creation of the SQL analytics ready. So we have um, the solution SQL auditing general log here as a solution, and we have the log analytics workspace. The solution SQL analytics got the name SQL auditing. Okay. Meanwhile, our set of queries is still running. It's in the middle. These queries are in the middle. But I believe if I start making queries in the log analytics workspace, I already get some results. Let's take a look. I got into the log analytics workspace and I opened the logs option. And this logs option is basically an environment for queries. I can make queries on this environment. Let me get the demonstration queries that I built. Copy. Let's execute and see. No, it's not really ready. It hasn't received the information yet. Let's double check our SQL database. The diagnostic settings, edit settings, yes. I ask you to send everything to general log, but the queries are still executing. It's showing some latency. They will finish in a while. By the way, I have features here inside this environment of Log Analytics workspace to create a library of queries. I can save this query and create a library of queries. I can rename it, save, I give a name, SQL queries category. Let's go category SQL monitoring, save. So here, let's make some refresh. Saved queries, we see a folder called SQL monitoring, and inside we see our set of SQL queries. So once we are using log analytics, we will be able to save the queries that we use the most and just reuse them. Let's confirm that, yeah, it finished. It finished. Let me close this. So, logs. I missed some step. I did something so fast that I missed some step. It's not sending the information there. Let me check what I missed here. The auditing is saved to send information there. This is on server level. And on database level, auditing, enable, sending to log analytics, general log on Visual Studio Enterprise subscription, and diagnostics, edit settings, same thing. I sent everything to log analytics. Oh. It's a matter of some kind of lag, some kind of latency. So here it is, the Azure Diagnostics table. It was just a matter of wait a bit because I did absolutely nothing. Just double checked the configuration. I did absolutely nothing. Now that the table is here, Azure Diagnostics, we can start making some queries. Let me enable a zoom tool. Zoom IT, where is it here? Zoom IT. So to make everything easier. And here, let's make a zoom here and notice. We start the query by the table Azure Diagnostics. Then the rows below the table use this bar to complete the query. And then the syntax is somewhat similar to SQL, but this example, I'm reading from Azure Diagnostics the distinct values of categories. Why am I reading that? Because the distinct values for categories is telling me what has been sent, what was already sent to Azure Diagnostics. So SQL Security Audit Events. These events, SQL Security Audit Events, were already sent to Azure Diagnostics. The other ones were not sent yet. So let me start with the queries over the SQL Security Audit Events. Let me first only query by these events. So we can see the security events happening inside SQL, audit events happening inside SQL, batch completed. Uh, Basically, it's making a detailed audit about the access to our Azure SQL. Yes, we enable a detailed audit of access to our Azure SQL. But I'm not seeing much details here. No, I'm not seeing much details here. I'll need to dig further on this information. Uh, let's summarize this by the action, and summarize is a statement specific to custom, and I'm making a count. This is very specific custom syntax, is going far from SQL. So I'm summarizing, making a count by, then I choosing the actual name, slices of time. So I'm making a bin using the field time generated, and make bins of 1 hour. So we'll totalize the information for each hour. Custom has this ability to make bins in time fields. So what we get, we are seeing batch completed actions, audit session changed, and database authentication succeeds. Let's analyze better the batch completed ones. So batch completed, I'm filtering by batch completed. Then I'm filtering by only the database adventure works. Mind that there are two errors on this query. Yes, there are two errors on this query. For Custo, that's not a problem at all. I can put two errors on this query. I just started a new vertical bar here, indicating a new statement. So the query can have two error statements. Then the project is specify the fields that I would like to retrieve. Since this list of fields is big, is going down to the second line, so don't have a vertical bar on the second line because it's continuing. And then I make an order by event time desk, and I can execute this, run, and I'm seeing the selects that were executed. We are seeing exactly the selects which were executed from what hosts. There are more information here. Who was the user and what was the IP of the user. So I have a complete SQL Server auditing stored inside Log Analytics. And just by configuring it, just by enabling it and asking to be sent to Log Analytics. Just that. Just that. Let's get back to the category. I believe we may have solved the latency problem. Yes. Now we see more categories here. Now you are seeing here database wait stats, query store wait statistics, and query store runtime statistics. So let's start with query store wait statistics. Again, I'm making a custom query over this. Query store wait statistics and showing me the information about the wait statistics in my database. Let me see what we have more here. There are more details. I can open here the details and see the fields of one record item by item. Let's go more in details on query store wait statistics. Let's make a sum of the count of the statistics, a sum of total time, a max of wait time by wait category. Let me see where is the field wait category, somewhere here. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing directly the field weight category, but let's execute this. It's not bringing me weight category, didn't recognize the weight statistics. I'm not sure, I would need to check later, or if this is some missing data not sent yet. It's not filled. Okay. So something was missing here. I check later and give you a feedback later. Let's go to the next one. Query store runtime statistics. Runtime statistics of Query store is the information that Query store have about how long our queries took to execute. So I can get a summary of the runtime statistics by hour. I use the bin of custom to aggregate the information by hour, for example. And of course, I just executed lots of queries. So the aggregation by hour doesn't give me too much data. Let me try to aggregate by less, by minute. I'm not sure if to accept minute is too low. But even so, it's not really accepting minutes, it's too low, and it's aggregating the data. And Query Store also summarize based on a window Query Store use. And let's see, the last category is Query Store runtime statistics, weight statistics, database weight statistics, and SQL security. There is one that was not sent, automatic returning. Automatic returning should be sent. In this example was not. But there is the database weight statistics, database weight statistics. And here I'm seeing the information about the database weight statistics and weight type S. So I can aggregate by weight type S. It will be similar to Query Store. But using database weight statistics. Let's see if all the fields match. No, sometimes when a field doesn't match, it just brings blank for us. Let's see correct field names here. Delta max wait time MS. G, son of delta wait time count with waiting tasks count. And this is enough for an example. Okay. And there is it. We made just one set of workload over the database, so we are not seeing many records here. But the idea is information. We can just query the information stored in log analytics. And of course, what you are all are waiting for. You all are waiting for to see the SQL Analytics solution. Let's open it. The first view appears disappointing, and unless you know exactly where to go, it will appear disappointing. You need to go to View Summary, and then no, I think it didn't collect enough data to show the details for us. SQL access sensitive data. It's not showing exactly the same that I illustrated before. But it's possible to get the idea, not keep stuck on this. It's possible to get the idea, and it's possible that this is caused by some order about things that I made. I was executing the workload while I created the SQL analytic solution. I'll check later why this happened on this order, why this happened on this way. Uh, let's go forward because you got the idea about the monitoring and the log analytics, how powerful it is. And I would actually like add some items to it. Some details about this that you maybe we haven't thought yet. Baselines are not a challenge anymore. Once we have our SQL Server sending data directly to a central point like Log Analytics, we don't have a challenge to build baselines anymore, and this is absolutely great. It's a great reason to go to the cloud. It's a great reason to go to the cloud. So just for moving to the cloud, you have a way better management of your environment because you'll be able to get baseline and understand better the performance consumption of your server. And it's a great method to learn what PaaS means. What I mean about that? I mean that unfortunately there are many companies in the market that think that PaaS, platform as a service, is only about, oh, let's create a virtual machine there and put our SQL Server inside that virtual machine. There is even a Dilbert cartoon making fun about this. And there are many companies that think that cloud is only that. Oh, put a virtual machine there and it will work. It's not. It's not. Each cloud platform has different services and different PaaS services. We can make a lift and shift, but then we need to modernize our services. And this example with log analytics is a way that we can modernize a lot our services in relation to database. We can modernize a lot our services. So this is an opportunity to introduce in the company the concept of PaaS. The concept that it's not just a virtual machine, it's more. We have more to get from the cloud. And you can start that now. Oh, but we are not using the cloud yet. Doesn't mind. Go to Azure, get a free account, download the agent, the log analytics agent, install in your server, and show to your boss the dashboards that you generate from there. Uh, that will create a great step to move to the cloud. By the way, on Saturday, I will be making a keynote on Saturday, and the keynote is exactly about this: how people are misunderstanding the concept of PaaS, of platform as a service. So let's change the subject. Let's talk about extended events. Extended events are very powerful, very powerful. It's difficult for us to adapt to extended events. Let's make a test here. Raise your hand, everyone who is not using extended events yet. You can raise your hand on the Teams. So we have some people who is not using extended events yet. It's completely understandable because the interface to use extended events is not something easy. It's not something easy. You'll find some articles from me on Simple Talk website about how to make things easier with extended events. But what extended events has in relation to Azure SQL and in relation to the administration? SQL Profiler doesn't work and is deprecated. That's it. You will not able to use SQL Profiler anymore. I know some people will be sad when saying that. Some people will be scary about moving to the cloud when I say that. But it's a step that is needed. Move to extended events. It's a needed step. SQL Trace doesn't work in Azure SQL Database, and it's also deprecated. So we need to go to extended events. However, extended events requires a file target. Some of you may try to remind me, oh, but we can just leave the data in the memory. Yeah, and there are limitations of the data that you keep in memory, limitations in such a way that it can lose events, and that would be terrible. So we need to use extended events with a file target. How will we make a file target on Azure SQL database that we don't have any control about files? We need Azure storage. We need to use Azure storage for that. So, what's the solution? First, we create a storage account. Then, we need to create a credential inside SQL Server using the SAS key of the storage account. I will not get so much in details about how the storage work. SAS key is a way to authenticate to the storage account. Then we can save the extended events file, the XAEL file, to the storage account. And we can make queries over the storage account to read these same files. Important details. The storage account doesn't support what is called hierarchical namespace. There is a configuration when you create a storage account, there is a configuration called hierarchical namespace, and this configuration is not supported. You need to use the URL to the container as the name of the credential. There are many ways to create credentials in SQL Server credential for storage account, and depends on how you use them. In this case, you use the URL to the container. You need to remove the question mark from the SAS key. When you copy the SAS key, it will come with a question mark that you need to remove. And wildcards are not supported when you query the XL file. Let's see how it works. Let's see it working. So here on the portal, on our resource group, I already have a storage account ready for us. A storage account called Atlanta SQL Storage. I created a container inside this storage account and I created a folder called Extended Events. To make things difficult, I defined the access to this folder as private. The user needs to be authenticated to access this folder. So we need the authentication. The SAS key that I mentioned before is the key that we get when we use shared access signature. We generate an SAS key. What I already did before, I will not go forward here. I already generated this key. So we have the storage account. Now I will go to our SQL. I will select our database, ADV works. I will need to create a credential. And credentials are tied with the encryption system of SQL Server. And this encryption system requires that I create a master key for encryption. It's just that I just need to run this statement in the database, create master key. Just that. Then I create a credential. Some of you who already saw credentials before may be noticing something strange. Database scoped credential. Yes, yes. This is a new feature from some versions of SQL Server and is very useful in the cloud. I'm creating the credential on database level and not on server level. The credential needs to have the name as the URL of the container. The URL of the container for that blob storage. And here we see the secret as the SAS key that I said that I had generated before. I already generated before this SAS key. It's here. The identity is fixed. This is a fixed word. Shared access signature. This fixed sentence is telling SQL Server that we are using an SAS key to access that storage account. So I create the credential. That's it. Done. Now I'll create my extended event session queries. I'm just capturing the execution of some queries SQL statement. Oh, but to capture SQL statement, we can capture with audits to the log analytics. Why I need extended events for that? For that, you don't. But extended events is very powerful. The amount of details, performance tuning details that you can capture using extended events is huge. So this is just a small example, just to make things simple. And the target of this session is uh, the container, but one specific folder inside the container. I created a folder queries inside the container. Then I will create this extended event session. It's created. And one difference from our regular environment, extended event sessions in an Azure SQL database, they are database level objects. They are not server level objects. So the extended event session is inside the database, not inside the server. And now I can start the session. Start the session, make a refresh. Okay. Now I will execute some queries. First, let me see if I'm still on time. I have here I'm using Azure Storage Explorer to see what is inside the storage. And let's see the query. No, from the point that I created the session, it already created a file here. It already created a file. But now I will make some new quiz, 3 quiz, and I need to get the name of the file. One point that is a bit annoying is that it doesn't support wildcards when reading the extended event information. Here I'm using the function sysfnx file target read file, but it doesn't support wildcards. So I need to get the name of the file. Let's go to properties. I'll get specifically the name of this file. Let me double check that is the correct file, because the old one I had deleted. Okay. And I can query the file. And here I can see statements completed. Some of them will be mine, some of them generated by SQL. And I can go further on the query to read the extended events and extract the information from the XML of the extended events. On the articles that I said that are on SimpleTalk, I explain how to turn these queries into functions. I consider this the best way to work with extended events, creating functions to read the extended events. So you don't need really to pass XML all the time, and that's the difficult part of extended events, having to pass the XML all the time. So uh, here I'm reading the content of that file, and it's bringing me many statements and some that I did here. Some statements that I did here, querying the customer table. That's it. Okay. So it's working. I'm saving the information inside the Azure Blob Storage. Uh, Before continuing, just one question. Uh, According to my clock, it's missing 4 minutes to 7.5. Do I need to keep attached to 7.5, or can I pass a bit?
A few minutes, not too much longer.
Not too much longer. So I'll just complete this part of the extended events. And the point here is that on these extended events, I'm using the SAS signature to access the storage. And that's not really a good thing. This is not really a good thing. Uh, it's not so safe. A safer way to have access to that storage would be to use a SQL Server identity. I can create an identity for SQL Server. So, uh, I use the portal to create an identity to SQL Server. I will exit here. I'll just set the context as the subscription and use this PowerShell statement to create the identity for our SQL Server. So I can do this on the Cloud Shell inside the portal. Not a problem at all. Here is the Cloud Shell. First statement. Sometimes when I pass this goes to the wrong way, but it works if I press enter. It set the context to the subscription, and now I create the identity for SQL. Done. What this means? This means that MySQL Server is not just a service. It's not just a SQL Server. MySQL Server is an identity in front of Azure Active Directory. So our SQL Server is an identity now on Azure Active Directory. So I can get to the storage, uh, access control on the storage, and add a row assignment. And the fun part is that I can type the name of the SQL Server, and I see SQL Server as a user. So I can give a permission to my SQL Server. What role I'll give to my SQL Server? I'll give storage blob data contributor to my SQL Server. Okay, so my SQL Server has an identity in front of Azure Active Directory, and with this identity, it can access the storage. But how will I prove this? Simple. I will drop the original credential. I'll just drop the original credential. Oh, because it's being used, I need to drop the session as well. Drop the session. Okay. Now I can drop the credential. And I'll create a new credential uh, using the same name, but now the identity is called managed identity. I'm telling with this credential, I'm telling to our Azure SQL, go to the storage using your identity, your Azure Active Directory identity. So I'm creating a new credential. Although I deleted the session, the file is still here. So I can still execute the query and show that I will still be able to retrieve the data. Let me check the file name. I just need to double check the file name. And the file is empty, probably because I dropped it, deleted the content. Let's create a session again. Not a master, right? Create a session again. Make some queries. Ensure the file name is the same. I believe so. And then get back to our demonstration. Let's execute this internal select first. The data is there. There is some detail on the screen that I haven't noticed that is not translating the XML, but the data is there. And the most important, I'm reading the data with SQL Server presenting itself as its own identity without an exchange of keys like we had before. We don't need to keep spreading the SAS key as I was doing before. We can just use the managed identity. Anas is asking if we can have access to the scripts that I can zip all the scripts in the PowerPoint and send to you. But I think Kevin may have a better way to share this.
Yeah, if you have a link to your website,
Yeah, I can put on OneDrive and send a link to you.
That'll be perfect. Then I'll link it out to everyone else.
Okay, thank you. So, in summary, what we saw today, what we saw at this point, we saw that all the management of Azure SQL is different than the management on premise. But going beyond the basics that many people keep stick to it, we can achieve way better baseline for our servers, a better management for our servers, and much more. We can achieve way better results. Uh, so, thank you very much. I'm happy that you liked the presentation. Uh, I hope it will be very useful for all of you. I will send the link with the files to Kevin and he will send to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis. And like Dennis said, we will be getting this out there in the next few days. And then y'all can enjoy the scripts and all the wonderful information that Dennis has provided. With that, thank you all so much. Have a great day and a great week.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.